afternoon on the Amazon. Chapter 7 Freeze. Jack and Annie jumped out of the canoe. The rain was starting to fall harder. The monkey took off, swung from tree to tree, heading up the riverbank. He scratched Annie beak once to Jack and Annie. "He wants us to follow him," said Annie. "No, we have to find the special thing, then go home," said Jack. "He wants to have us," said Annie. She took off after the monkey. The two of them vanished into the lane forest. "Annie!" thunder shook the sky. "Oh, father," said Jack. He dashed after Annie and the monkey into the dark forest. The forest seemed surprisingly dry. Jack looked up. It was still raining, but the treetops acted like a hug umbrella. "Annie," called Jack. "Jack, Jack," called Annie. "Where are you?" "Here." Jack hurried in the dictation of Annie's voice. Soon he found the monkey. He was scratching and swinging from a tree. Annie and kneeling on the forest floor. She was playing with an animal and that looked like a giant kitten. "What's that?" Jack said. "I don't know, but I love it," said Annie. Annie patted the animal's paw. It had gold fur and black spots. "I'd better find out what is it." Jack said Jack. He pulled out the rainforest book and spoiled it. "Oh, it's so cute," said Annie. Jack found a picture of an animal with gold fur and black spots. He read, "The jaguar is the biggest predator in the western hemisphere." "Forget cute," Jack said. "That must be a baby jaguar. It's going to grow up and be the biggest predator in." "What's a predator?" asked Annie. There was a travel girl. Jack wheeled around. The mother jaguar was coming out from behind the tree. She was creeping over the dead leaf, right toward Annie. "Freeze!" whispered Jack. Annie froze, but the jaguar kept moving slow toward her. "Help!" said Jack weakly. Suddenly the monkey swooped down from his tree. He grabbed the jaguar's tail. The cat growled and spun around. Annie jumped up. The monkey pulled the jaguar's tail away. Then he let go and took off. The jaguar sprang after him. "Run, Annie!" called Jack. Jack and Annie took off through the rainforest. They ran for their lives. Chapter 8 Vampire Bats. "Wait," said Jack, panting. "I think we got away." Jack and Annie stopped leaning and catched their breath. "Where are we?" said Jack. Where's the monkey?" said Annie, looking back at the forest. "Do you think the jaguar catched him?" "No, monkey are fast," said Jack. "Of course, jaguar are fast too," Jack thought, but he didn't want to tell Annie that. "I hope he's okay," said Annie. Peanut picked it out of Annie's pocket. "Peanut, I almost forgot you," said Annie. "Are you okay?" The mouse just stared at Annie with her big eyes. "She looks scared," said Jack. "Poor Peanut, poor monkey," said Annie. She looked around at the forest. "We'd better check the book," Jack said. He pulled out the book. He turned the page, searching for help. He stopped at the picture of a scared creature. "Oh man, what's this?" he said. Jack read the writing below the picture. It said, "Vampire bats live in the Amazon rainforest. At night, they quietly beat their victims and suck their blood." "Vampire bats," said Jack. He felt faint. "Vampire bats," said Annie. Jack nodded. After dark, Annie and Jack looked around. The rainforest seemed to be getting even darker. "Yes," said Annie. She looked at Jack. "Maybe we should go home." Jack nodded. For once he agreed with her. "But what about our mission?" said Annie. "What about Morgan?" "We'll come back," said Jack. "We'll have to be prepared. So we'll come back tomorrow?" Annie asked. "Right. Now, which way is the tree house?" said Jack. "This way," said Annie, pointing. "That way," said Jack, pointing in the opposite direction. They looked at each other. "We're lost," they said together. "Scat! Don't worry, Peanut." Annie started to pat the mouse again. But then she stopped. "Scat, scat, scat!" "Jack, I think Peanut wants to help us," said Annie. "How?" "The way she helped us in the time of ninjas." Annie placed the mouse of the left fashion floor. "Take us to the treehouse, Peanut." The mouse took off. "Where did she go?" said Annie. "I don't see her." There, said Jack. She pointed to leave lying on the ground. A streak of white paste over the leaves. "Yes, there," said Annie. Jack and Annie followed the moving leaves. The streak of white appeared and disappeared. Suddenly, Jack stopped. The forest floor was still. There was no sign of Peanut. "Where is she?" said Jack. He kept starting at the ground. "Jack!" Jack glanced around. Annie was standing on the other side of a nearby tree. She was pointing up. Jack looked up. She was pointing up. Jack looked up. "The tree house." "Oh, well," Jack said softly. She saved us again. And Annie, she's running up the ladder. Earl by herself. Look. Annie pointing at the ladder. Let's go, Jack said. Annie started up the ladder. Then Jack. They followed Peanut all the way up to the canopy of the rainforest. Chapter 9. The Things. Jack and Annie climbed into the treehouse. Peanut was sitting on a stack of books. Annie patted Peanut's little hand. Thanks, she said softly. I have to write some notes about the rainforest, said Jack. You find the Pinzambian book. Annie began searching for the Pennsylvania book, the book that always took them home. Jack pulled out his notebook. He had wanted to take lots of notes here, but all he'd lightened so far was the Amazon rainforest is. It's not here, said Annie. What? Jack looked up. He glanced around the treehouse. Annie was right. The Pennsylvania book was nowhere in sight. Was it here before we left home? Said Jack. I don't remember, said Annie. Oh man, said Jack. No, we can't get back to Frog Creek. That means we'll be here when the vampire bats come out, said Annie. Something came flying through the tree house window. Jack and Annie hid their head. Thud! Something hit the floor. A red fruit. Jack looked up. The monkey was sitting in the window. His head was cocked to one side. He seemed to be grinning at them. You're safe, said Annie. Thanks for saving us, said Jack. The monkey just grinned. I have just one question, said Annie. She pointed at the fruit. Why do you keep drawing those at us? The monkey grumbled the fruit. No, don't draw it, said Jack. He thunked, but the monkey didn't draw the fruit. He held it out to Annie. He moved his lips as if he were trying to say something. Annie stared into the monkey's eyes. He moving his lip again. Wow, Annie said softly. I understand now. Understand what? Said Jack. Annie took the fruit from the monkey. This is it, she said. The thing we need. What thing? Said Jack. One of the special things we're supposed to find for Morgan. Annie said, to free her from the spell. Are you sure? Said Jack before Annie could answer. Jack saw the preserved book. Look, our book, he said, pointing. We found the thing. And now we can see the book, said Annie. Well, that's the way it works, remember? Jack nodded. Now he remembered the ninja monster said they wouldn't be able to find the Pennsylvania book until they had found what they were looking for. The monkey scratched with lettering. Jack and Annie looked at him. He was clapping his hands together. Annie laughed with him. How did you know to keep this to us," she said. "Who told you to do that?" The monkey just waved at Jack and Annie. Then he turned on and swung away out of the treehouse. "Wait," said Jack, looking out the window. Too late. The monkey was gone. He had been landed below the treetop. "Goodbye," called Annie. The happy scratchy came from the mystery world below. Jack sighed. He picked up his notebook. Again, he looked at his writing. "The Amazon rainforest is." He had to write something before they left. He quickly added, "Amazing." Jack put away his notebook. Annie picked up the Pinzanbian book. "Now it's real time to be," she said. She turned to the picture of the Frog Creek Woods. "I wish we could go there," she said, pointing at the picture. The window started to blow. The leaves began to tremble. The treehouse began to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Avonstyle still. Chapter 10. Halfway there. Squeak! Jack opened his eyes. Peanut was on the treehouse window sill. "We're home," said Annie. Jack breathed a sigh of relief. Annie held the fruit up to the afternoon light. "What actually is this?" she asked. "Maybe it's in the book," Jack answered. He pulled out the rainforest book. He flipped through the page. He came to a picture. Of the large fruit. "Here is it," he said. He read out loud. "The mango has a sweet taste like that of a peach." "Mango? Said Annie. She brought the fruit close to her lip. "Hey," said Jack, grabbing the mango from her. "We have to put it with the moonstone." Jack placed the mango on the arm, carved into the floor, next to the clear moonstone. "Moonstone mango," whispered Annie. "It sounds like a spell." "We're halfway there," said Jack. "2 more to go. Then we can feed you, Morgan." Annie curled as if Morgan were nearby. "How do you know she can hear you?" said Jack. "I saw still it," Annie said. "Oh, brother," said Jack. "He need more proof than that." Squeak! Peanut was looking at Jack and Annie. "We have to leave, you know," Jack said to the mouse. "Squeak! Can't we take her with us?" said Annie. "No," Jack. "Mom won't let us keep a mouse in the house. She doesn't like mice, remember." "How could anyone not like a mouse?" said Annie. Jack smiled. "How could anyone not like a spider?" he said. "That's different." Annie patted Peanut's head. "Bye," she said. "Wait for us here. We'll be back tomorrow." Jack patted the mouse too. "Bye, Peanut." "Thanks for your help," he said. "Squeak!" Jack put the rainforest book on top of the book about Ninja. Then he put on his book backpack, and he had Annie left the treehouse. They climbed down the loft ladder. They spun onto the ground. They started walking through the Frog Creek. Woods leaf shadow danced in the light. A bird called out, "These woods are different." From the rainforest, Jack wrote, "There are no jaguar or army ants here," she said. "No, little monkeys. You know that monkey was never began mean," said Annie. "He was just trying to began us the mango." "I know, actually nothing was began mean," said Jack. "The army ants were just marching. That's what army ants do." "The princess were just being process," said Annie. "The snake was just began up snake," said Jack. "The crocodile was just began a crocodile," said Annie. "The jaguar was just taking care of their baby," said Jack. Annie scattered. "I still don't love bugs," she said. "You don't have to love them," said Jack. "Just leave them alone and they won't bother you in the face." That's true about the rainforest. Jack thought everyone should just leave it all alone. "Who cares if the bugs don't have names?" he said softly. "They know who they are." Jack and Annie sped out of the Frog Creek woods. They started walking up their street. It was a lift with the golden light. "I see you," said Annie. They took off running. They ran across the area. They laced up their steps. "Safe!" they shouted together, tagging their front door. Thank you for listening. Magic Tree House 6.